I had made homemade almond milk for the very first time, and I posted it on my personal Facebook page, and a lot of my friends and family were really interested in how I made it. So I'm going to do this video so I can show everybody who's interested how to make your homemade almond milk the way I prefer it. It is way better than any store-bought I've ever bought. So here's how you make it. First thing you're going to need is to soak your nuts, your almonds, in water for 24 to 48 hours. These have been soaking for almost 48 hours. Now let me show you. As you can see, I put cinnamon sticks in it just to try it out. So I soaked them in 48 hours in cinnamon sticks. So now I'm going to drain these and remove the cinnamon sticks. Okay, so now that they're all drained, what you're going to do is, this is going to be about a half cup, I believe. Let's check it out. Maybe a little over half a cup. Or maybe it's a cup. So this is a half a cup. Okay, so I'm going to put a half a cup in here. And then for every half a cup, you put 1 cup of water. So, just 1 cup of water. But don't make a mess. There we go. And then what I do is I put a couple of drops of this liquid stevia in here. So I'll put about 5 drops. Now, because they're cinnamon, I'm not going to put vanilla in it. Usually I would put a drop of vanilla in there, but since I soak them in the cinnamon, I don't want the vanilla to take over the cinnamon taste. That's whatever's absorbed into the nut. So then what I do is I just screw this on, because I don't have a regular blender. So screw that on tight, and then actually, no, screw that on tight. Oh, it's not plugged in. First, plug it in. Then you gotta stop it. And then we got a jar, the small little sifter that fits kind of in there, and some cheesecloth that I just cut in a long strip and folded in half. And then I'm just gonna put this in here like that. And then I'm just gonna pour this in here to collect all the pulp, so only the milk goes through. Let's see if you guys can see that. See all that? And then below, it's just the milk coming down. And you're just gonna let it sit here and drain. And I'll show you what after a couple. So I'll let it sit here for like 2 to 3 minutes to try and naturally let it drain. Okay, so now all you do after you're done letting itself drain is you just squeeze, grab it and squeeze. Just squeeze all that good milk out of there. Oh, making a mess. And inside this right here, you will have all the pulp, which I will show you what we're going to do with that, because nothing goes to waste. Okay, so while the second batch drains, I'm going to show you, so this is what I made the other day, and it is almost gone, okay? This only lasts up to 5 days in the refrigerator, so I tried to see if we could freeze it. And so I put 2 in a little half-pint jar, and I froze it. So this one is still frozen. This one I stuck in the refrigerator last night to see how it was. Now, you won't tell now, but this was all separated, so you do have to shake it. And then even now, you can tell it's settling to the bottom. So you definitely have to shake it. I don't recommend this to freeze it if you're going to drink it, but if you're going to make it with something like in a shake or bake with it, then perfect for freezing. It still tastes just as good. It just has, it's not the same kind of taste and texture as when you make it fresh. So, but it is still it's still good, and it's still, I'm going to make the shakes with it this morning. So just so you know, I just want to point that out. So it is freezable, and it's still good, frozen to defrosting. I mean, everybody has their own preference on whether you want to drink it or not, but it's still really good. So next step is we are going to let this finish draining, grab the rest of this pulp, and then I am going to pan dry it out and roast it, so that way I can blend it up and make almond flour. Okay, so I have that in there. I'm just going to dump this one. That's what it looks like. Just dump it in. And just try to get all of it. And then I will wash this and reuse it. I'm going to make almond milk. So it's all out. So I will just, and it is very wet. So I'll just go and break it up a little bit. So it looks like that. And then put it on like a medium high. And then I'll just start toasting it. And you'll start smelling it. And that's how you know to try and feel it. See, it's still very much wet right now. And we'll be back. And I should mention that this is a dry pan. And I don't know if you can see it. Sorry, the cat and dog are going after each other this morning, so you'll probably hear them in the background. But if you see the smoke coming, that is a good sign. That's just from it drying out. So it's not burning as long as you keep mixing it up. It's just drying it out, which is a good sign and what you want. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes, and the aroma is starting to come up, and you can start smelling the almonds. So that's a good sign. And then the smoke is getting a little bit heavier. I know you probably can't see it on the video, but it is. So that is good. So as long as you keep mixing it, you won't burn it. So you just keep doing it. And if you want to try it, it's still kind of wet. So you can feel it. You'll know. You can tell the difference between dry and wet. So we just let it sit there. So it's been 5 minutes. Let's sit it for another 5. Alright, you guys, so it's been about 10 minutes since we started. I don't know if you can look right here in this spot right here in this middle and see that it's starting to brown and toast. So as long as you keep mixing, see the difference now, see how brown it's getting. So this is a good sign. This is what you want to see. This means it's almost done. It's almost dry. What a difference. Look how nice and golden brown that is compared to what it was a couple minutes ago. So just keep mixing. I like to try. I feel it way drier. Not there yet, but still a lot drier. So this is right about ready. Probably like another minute or two. Alrighty. So now we're going to stick it back into the blender and make flour. This is good. And you can feel it to confirm. It's completely dry. So it's been about 11 minutes since start to finish. And that's going to vary depending on how much you put into the pan. So you want to make sure you have a clean and dry blender, because you're putting powder, you're trying to make powder, not paste. So we're going to pour the hot stuff in here, screw this on, and blend it. I'll be back. Okay, so I guess I wasn't recording, but I took my funnel and I poured my hot almonds in here through my funnel, and then I put it in the blender and I blended it up. I had to shake it and blend it because it's just a magic bullet. I don't have like an actual blender. So I do have to make sure this is finely chopped. So I am going to put it through a sieve, only because my parents can't have seeds, and now a little bit of seed can cause them to get very sick. So I'm going to sieve it into my container that I'm going to store it in. Alright, so this is the almond flour that I made the other day that I have left over. I attempted to make some kind of cookie with it, but it was an epic fail. They ended up tasting like biscuits. So this is what I'm going to do. And it's going to look like that, because it was in the blender. So now I'm going to put it through the sieve. Actually, I think I have to put it in a bowl and then put it in, because it's going to make a mess. There we go. That's what I'll do. Alright. Just going to put it in here. Just going to pour it in. And look at that. Beautiful almond flour. As I'm making a mess. Alright, then I'm just going to have to stick my finger in there to try and get all the rest. That is because it's condensation from being hot. I didn't let it cool down, I just put it in. So if you don't want to have to do this step, just let it cool down. And then do it. But it works either way. Alright. And then it does look clunky, but I think it's just because it's the condensation. So it should be good. And then I'm just gonna, if my parents weren't here, I wouldn't care about that. I'll just toss it in my flour. But you gotta be safe. Then sorry, so I will just put this in my kitty litter box, because we use all natural kitty litter. So like corn cob kitty litter. And so I'll just add that in there for her, a little extra, so it doesn't all go to waste. And then what I will do in the meantime is get my funnel and pour my almond flour in. There we go. It's my homemade almond flour. And you could tell I toasted it a little bit longer than last time. It's kind of funny. But there we go. And I just throw it on the shelf to be shelf stable. I am going to leave it open though, to let it sit down and let them dry out. Because the condensation got them kind of damp. So, because I didn't let them cool down. So there we go. And this is the almond milk that we got right here. And what I'm going to do is I am going to attach a photo of when I made my first batch. it settles in the refrigerator, and the top half is going to end up being all cream, and the bottom is going to be like a really watery milk. And you can actually use that cream for like your coffee, or if you need like almond cream for anything like your baking. And it's really thick and nice. So yeah, so there is the almond milk. So I've got almond milk, and then when it settles, I can get cream if I want. And then now I have also almond flour to bake with. So I hope you guys like the video. Have a good day.